Right. Let's get into this map tier list, and I'll briefly give an explanation of each map and why I place it where I place it, but we'll go from this to this to this to this. But yeah, right. Let's start with the first map. This is more... Okay, let me start by this disclaimer. This is for competitive play, okay? Like ranked ladder, or tournament. It is not for casuals or anything like that, sadly. I will go based off of how viable they are for competitive play, okay? First up coming is Acropolis, and this is our first D tier. This is just not a competitive map, in my opinion. It's more of a casual one. I think I've played once in an FFA and just looked very average. Nothing too much to it. And I don't know about the map seeds or map spawn, so yeah. Next up is Air. Air can be played as a competitive map, but the cliff in the middle just makes it not so versatile or fun, in my opinion, and cancels out a lot of potential for the map. But that is how it's designed. As for spawns, you can get shafted by spawns, so I'm not a big fan of it. It goes into C tier. Next up, Alfheim, another C tier, however, above Air. So this map can shaft you completely with seeds, cliffs, and all of that bad stuff, and it can often lead to a very one-sided game if you have a bad seed, and it's sometimes not even mirrored. So your opponent can have a really good map, you can have a really bad map. I don't think this is a good map for competitive play because of that reason. I've seen maps where seeds where this map has 6 gold mines on one single town center right next to each other. Right next to each other. So yeah, completely unreliable map. Next up, we have Anatolia. Anatolia is a good hybrid map. It's quite consistent in spawns, and it's a reliable map. I will place it in A tier. It is a hybrid map, so some people may not like water. I like this map. The thing that could push it to S tier is more variety in gods, because currently there's just 2 gods, 3 gods dominating this map. But let's just go with A for now. I think it's a good map. Next up, we have Archipelago. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it, but yeah, another D tier. Same reason as Acropolis. Not really made for competitive. It's more of a casual map. Next up, Arena. We did see this in the previous tournament, Clash of Immortals. It was an interesting map, but the seeds could make it into a terrible map. So therefore, I am going to place it right there, in between Alfheim and Air. It's not a consistent map in terms of spawns, and yeah, that's the main drawback with this map. Next up, we have Bamboo Grove, also another map from Clash of Immortals that we saw, and yet another map with inconsistencies. This map can spawn a 3000 gold mine as your second gold mine, which makes it bad, in my opinion. And you can also get shafted by the seed, which means this is yet another bad map, but better than Alfheim at the very least. So another C tier. Now Black Sea, another D tier, simply because I've never seen it. It's a cut-off map, so it's like hybrid. I know it's not even hybrid, it's just you have to cross over with water. I don't know about this map, I just don't. Erebus, D tier, sorry. It's good for casuals, but bad for competitive. There's too many random factors that go into play, such as shade spawns and stuff like that. It's a really bad competitive map, and I would never want to play this. Blue Lagoon is a B tier map, sadly. I think this is the best map, but at the same time, it can be the worst map. If the seed is even and fair, it's the best map, one of the best maps. If it's inconsistent, if it's bad, like this map isn't consistent with seeds. That's my main issue with it. The design, it's lovely. It's just a nice map, but the seeds can fuck it over. But it is a worthy of B at least. Next up, Elysium. I really like this map. I think it's a shame it got removed from the ranked ladder. And it's a good map. Sometimes seeds can be bad, but most of the time it's consistent from both ends, and that's what makes it good to play. So therefore, it's going to A above above Anatolia. Next up, we have our first S tier, Ghost Lake. By far, like one of my favorite maps. Very good for competitive play. Often seed is fine, like it's mirrored most of the time, like 90% of the time. So it is a fair map. It is a good map. It is a map I would love to play. But yeah, another one is Giza. I would place this guy in S tier simply because of the inconsistencies with the seeds again. So most of the maps, like this is a competitive map. This is a competitive map. Elysium is a competitive map. Anatolia, they all have what in common, fair seeds with a slim chance of bad seeds. So they're more consistent than the other maps below. Next up, Gold Rush, another D tier map, simply because it's not really a competitive map, and if it were a competitive map, it would be a bad one, simply because it could end up with a bad seed where your initial gold mine starts bad, and then you're like, it does spawn with 2 gold mines, but it favors some gods more than others. I don't really like that, but then again, most maps are like that, so kind of contradicting myself. However, it is simply not too diverse in strategies, since your end goal is to control the middle. Yeah, next up, Highland is an alright map. Problem with this map has been that it draws out games for far too long. It's an okay map. Would I place it B? Probably not. I would probably place it in front of Alfheim. It can be played competitively. The seeds can be fair. It's just a boring map that draws out games to an hour. And when this was on the ladder, people were not a fan of it, and I wasn't a fan of it. Sometimes it was fun, but when you kept playing it, it kind of got boring really quick. Next up, Ironwood, another casual map, I believe. Yeah, since it has a wood line in the middle, so you have to cut that off. So it's not a go. Islands, D tier. Need I say more? It's just casual map. Jotunheim, casual map. S tier for casual map. D tier for competitive. Kerlauger, worst map in the game. Actually, contender for the worst map in the game. Yeah. This is by far the most boring map I have seen in competitive play. The most repetitive map, and the most like seeds can be very bad on this map as well. But that's just my opinion. Some people can think this is a better map. I just hate this map with passion. I think it's bad for ladder and even worse for competitive play, because whoever drafts the better god wins in this game. And on this map, Zeus, by the way, simply because you can walk on water and kill the docks and you win the game. Next up, we have Land Unknown. It's Land Unknown, right? Can go either really good or really bad. I will place it right here. Boom. It's too random. Marsh, another top of C tier. Sometimes this map can lead to bad catastrophic seeds, but it's a fine map. I can see it played in competitive. I guess it's B. I can see it played in competitive, but most of the time, it's like, I guess it's more fair than Blue Lagoon in terms of seeds, so I guess it's somewhere there. But next up, Mediterranean, another solid map. Haven't seen too bad seeds so far. It is, however, a water map, and people don't like that. It can be dull and repetitive, but it's also a good water map by design. Therefore, I think I'm going to place it in S tier. It's a fun map to play as well. For some, others not so much. It's a good competitive map, in my opinion. Megalopolis is another B tier map, simply because the town center in middle uh, makes it into a more casual-ish, not really casual, but it's like it doesn't give you that traditional 2 TC each player. The third, it's a curveball basically. It's a curveball, and yeah, I mean it's a good map. Seeds can be bad too, but it's not consistently. It's not consistent with the other competitive maps. Midgard, another B tier map. I would place it here. It's a good map. It's just boring, and some gods are preferred on this map simply because it's so small and you can do a rush, and others have a hard time defending it. Gold mines are scarce. Seeds can be seeds most of the time is fair, but there are chances it can be a screw up. But it's an okay map ultimately. Mirage, I haven't seen this map much, but would love to see more of it, perhaps in competitive or ladder. I think it has potential. Uh, but yeah, I haven't seen too much of it, but I'll place it at the bottom of B. Mirkwood, somewhere around C, I guess. Bottom of C. It has potential for competitive play, but it's not really going to happen. It's not as good. My second, I like this more than Kerlauger. However, it is the worst map imaginable. The Kerlauger Mount Olympus duo ruined one of the tournaments for me. It just made it unwatchable because of how repetitive it was and how boring it was. These maps play out the same way almost every single time. It limits god variety, and the seeds can be really, really. I mean, the seeds are okay, but it's like not good enough, I guess. It's just not. I'm just not a fan of this map. Aesthetically, it's okay, but at the same time, it's not. It's my opinion, guys. Remember, Muspelheim. It's another casual map. Probably play it here. Probably higher for casuals, lower for competitive. Nile Shallows, one of my favorite maps. I think this one is very nice to look at, pleasing to look at, very fun to play. Seeds can be bad, but most of the time it's fair for both sides. And it's overall a great map with a ton of god variety and just overall very fun map to play. Another S tier contender. Nomad, best map for casuals in my opinion. Bad, good, has potential for competitive, but due to how the map can spawn, how random it can be, it can shaft one player. Therefore, I'm placing it in C tier, right there. I would love to see this, but it's so random that it's not good for competitive. But for casuals, it's really good. I like Nomad. Another S tier, boom, Oasis. One of my favorite maps. There are sometimes, like I would say 20% of the time, it can be a bad map, inconsistent with spawns, not fair for one player. But most of the time, it's okay. However, sometimes the town center spawns can be weird as well. That can lead to a bad game. Uh, but majority of the time I've seen this map or played this map, I've had good times on it. More than it's been fair, and I think it's a very nice map to look at, very nice map to play. It's overall very fun. Peach Blossom Land, the most recent addition to both the ranked ladder and competitive play, as well as DLC, right? I don't really think this has a place in competitive play. It's 4 town centers each. It's too many choke points, and it's much fish. So it's like the seeds, from what I've seen, are fine. Just playing this map out is not so fun. I don't want to watch it. I don't want to play it, but it's nice to look at. All right. Next up, River Nile, another C tier map. It's cut off in the middle. You need boats. Same thing with River Styx. Savannah is a really, really good map. Probably right there. I think it's consistent, but sometimes like 90% of the time, 80, 90% of the time it's consistent. It's a very good competitive map, and several gods can be played there, and it's nice to look at. I don't have much complaints about Savannah. Sea of Worms, another casual map. I don't think this belongs. The wait, yeah, since it has a gold mine, since the gold mines and the town center up top, I just don't like it. It's just some god. It will favor some gods more than others, and that's like not something I really like. Plus, it's hybrid. But it's better than fucking Kerlauger and Mount Olympus, that's for sure. Silk Road. Now, this is also another map that I think is good aesthetically. However, for competitive play, it is far too unfair because of the trading posts and ladder. So this is going to go here. Step, oof, another S tier map. It's a consistent map from what I've seen. And it's very nice to look at, very fun to play. Just overall great map, especially for aggression. Unknown, probably place it same place as here, Land Unknown. Tundra, another A tier map. It's a consistent map. Seeds don't often mess you over. It's a reliable competitive map. I don't hate it when I see it on ladder. I just play it. Not the worst, not the best, but playable. Valley of the Kings, probably somewhere around here. I think this map is super inconsistent, super like this map is not good for competitive or ladder. It's too inconsistent. Doesn't really like you can get shafted just by from the get-go on the spawns, and it becomes unplayable. Something I don't like. Vinland Saga again, another really bad map for ladder or competitive, but really good map for casuals. I'm gonna place it in D. Watering Hole, it's a mid map. It's boring. Nothing special about it. Uh, it's like, if I roll it, fuck, I'll just play it out. But if I don't, I'm happy. You know. Yellow River, the also another addition lately. I like this map. I think it can, even though there's a town center in the middle, I like the shallow water, and it's not really made. It can be played a little bit on ladder and competitive, but it's not as reliable as the other maps. So therefore, it's gotta go here, in my opinion. You can reliably get fair spawns. However, the town center in the middle and the gold mines just make it kind of more casual vibes than competitive. But it's still a fun map to play on ladder. Probably not in a competitive, tournament game. But yeah, that's it for the tier list of Maparinos. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Let me know what you think. It's fair for competitive. Is this fine? Is it good for ladder? You should like to see some of the more casual maps on the ladder, or is this fine to just not have them there? Personally, we will be seeing Mount Olympus next patch, which I'm dreading. Uh, but such is life. We'll just deal with it and move on until it gets rotated out again. Anyway, thank you for watching. Bye.